Ramadan Kareem, everybody. Today I made one of the most famous desserts that everybody in the Middle East makes in Ramadan. I made kunafa or knefi. Usually people make it with some nuts or maybe with cheese or with cream. Today I made it with custard. And the good thing is I made the custard from scratch. I'm not going to use these powdered, pre-packed custards. I'm going to start with the custard first because we need to use it cold. We need 4 egg yolks. So I separated the egg yolks from the egg whites. We can use the whites later for maybe an egg white omelette or a meringue recipe. Actually, I made a very delicious meringue recipe. Stay tuned for that. To these 4 egg yolks, I'm going to add half a cup of custard sugar. The sugar that I used is coming from my vanilla sugar jar. Usually I add my pre-used vanilla pods in a jar of sugar, so just in case if I don't have any vanilla, I can use this sugar and it will taste like vanilla. I added the half a cup of sugar, mixed it very well, and I added 1 cup of milk. This recipe needs 2 cups of milk. I just added 1 for now, and I'm going to mix it very well. And just make sure you don't have any lumps from the egg yolks, and for this you need to have your eggs in room temperature before. Then I will add a 1/3 cup plus 1 tablespoon of all-purpose flour. You can substitute that for cornstarch or corn flour. Actually, the original recipe says that you have to use cornstarch. I tried both and I didn't see any difference, to be honest. Moving on to the vanilla. To make sure your vanilla is fresh, you can twist it a little bit, and if it didn't break, that means that it is a good quality. Separate it with a knife, and using the back of the knife, you can extract all the vanilla beans, and then I add it to the custard mix. Then my vanilla pod is going to the same jar with some extra sugar. Now it's time to add my other cup of milk. I added that and I mixed it very well. You can strain the mixture at this point and then move to the stove on a medium heat. Please do not move away. You need to keep stirring so it doesn't form any skin or any lumps. If it forms any skin, you can just scrap the sides with a spatula. This is what we're calling crème anglaise. This is very similar to crème anglaise texture, which is the base for ice cream. But this is what we're looking for. If it reaches this texture, you can turn off the heat now and add your vanilla extract in case you're using vanilla extract. If you're using the fresh vanilla, we added this from the beginning. So after we switched off the heat, we will add a big knob of butter, and the temperature of the custard will melt the butter. So we don't need the heat at this point. After we make sure that the butter is melted, we will cover it with a cling film. Make sure the cling film is touching the custard so it doesn't form any skin on top. Let it cool completely, then we're going to transfer this into the fridge to make sure that it's very cold before we add it to our kunafa. For the kunafa, I used 500 grams of kunafa pastry. You can find this in most of supermarkets. You can make it from scratch. It's pretty hard. However, you can easily find it in pretty much all supermarkets. Some people put the kunafa in food processor to make it easier to cut. I put it in a freezer 1 day ahead. Then I cut it with a knife or maybe scrunch it with my hand. I'm not sure why did I use this tiny cutting board, but however, I managed to cut all my kunafa with this length. And on a medium heat, I put some ghee, which is clarified butter. Then I added my kunafa. Then I put extra ghee because I found that it was not enough. Then I'll keep tossing the kunafa. Keep tossing until we reach the golden color. Please do not stop mixing and tossing the kunafas because it can burn easily. After we reach the golden color that we're looking after, you can turn off the heat, let it cool completely. Then we're going to assemble our mixture. We will add a little bit of kunafa at the top, at the bottom, then cover it with a little bit of custard. At that point, you can add your fresh strawberry, blueberry, raspberry, whatever fruit of your choice. I like to eat it next to the dessert. Then I will add more kunafa, then more custard. I made around 3 or 4 layers. It depends on what you like. I found 4 layers is pretty much enough. Then I added edible flour on top. And this is how it looks like. It tastes great. The difference of texture between the custard and the kunafa is amazing. The sweetness is very, very well balanced because the kunafa Doesn't have any added sugar. So the only sugar we have is coming from the custard, and it's a little bit of sugar. So it's very well balanced when it comes to the sweetness. Please eat it on the same day or next day so it stays crunchy. And for Camellia, I made her custard without sugar. I used honey, so you can use this for kids over 1 year. And please go ahead and try the recipe. Let me know in the comments if you like it, and enjoy.